Hey, Worship and Arts community, it's Tammy. I'm coming at you with some information, just a few things that's going on in our department and in our church. Figured this might be the best bet to get you the information quickly. I would love to have a meeting, hang out and chat and just be together. Those are certainly coming, those types of meetings, but I also just wanted to get you the information quickly. So I hope you don't mind a quick video. Thanks for hanging in there for a few minutes while I get some information into your earlobes. So as you can tell, over the last several weeks, we've just been experiencing some new things during worship, specifically on Sunday mornings. Our worship times are actually pushing into a little more of the service. They've been going a little longer. We've got 45 minutes. Sometimes it pushes into a whole hour. We certainly see that the Lord is doing a new thing in our worship, and we are just trying to be sensitive to that and follow what He's leading us into. So some new spaces, some new feelings, some new experiences. We're loving these things, and what's amazing is that what might have been just a one-time occurrence or something that we just enjoy here and there is turning into an expectation. So every week we're noticing that God is doing powerful things during our worship segment of the service, as well as the sermon as well. So as you can tell, there is a bit of a shift in the worship around here at CA, and we love it. We love seeing that God's doing a new thing in us, and we want to be submitted to that and try to hang on, because this is good stuff, and we don't want to miss any of it. So what we've noticed is not just even on Sunday mornings, but there are some changes happening through the week around here in our worship settings. So if you've gotten to have a chance to go to Break for Worship on Thursdays, those are some intense times, even a different kind of environment in worship too, a little more intimate, very deep places that God takes us on Thursdays at noon during break. If you haven't had a chance to be part of that, I would ask that you jump in if you can. Certainly a very powerful, impactful hour. It's hard to put words to what God does. There are people that are receiving visions and revelations. God's activating purpose in people. There's healings. And so these are things that we press into and have been asking and seeking the Lord for a long time. And He's doing it. And it's not a one-time occurrence. There's a consistency every week as we come together. He's showing up and He's doing some powerful things. So I've had a conviction over the last really several months and weeks and months of the limitation that has. So as I sit and as we experience, the pile of us that go on Thursdays, we're experiencing God in these fresh, impactful, deep ways. But I realize that this has only kind of been available to someone that can come on a Thursday at noon, which I understand. There's work, there's school, there's other schedules. We can't always just break away during a weekday at noon. So I've been trying to pray through, as a staff, we're trying to look at what is a good option to make this space available for our church body and others to come and just experience God and have these encounters that look a little different, actually a lot different than a Sunday morning. These are things that God does when He has all of the time, when there's zero agenda, when we literally just come and just be submitted to His will and His purpose for that time. And He shows up and He does some amazing things. So what we've decided is, and a way that we can make this available more consistently is actually update Pursue. So Soaks and Pursue now have been great. We've enjoyed them. A lot of times I love having guest worship pastors and instrumentalists and vocalists in to be part of those nights, to reach our body and visitors with their gift and what God's doing in the community. Been fabulous, love those moments, but they are a bit scheduled. There's a lot of instrumentation, there's a lot of scheduling, a lot of process there. And again, God's showed up. He's done some amazing things in the past. However, there has been a sense of simplicity lately, a bit of scaling back. that I sense that the Lord is trying to get our attention in. Really, it's just the less of us and more of Him. And when we move out of the way and we literally leave it up to Him to do something in those moments, He does it so powerfully. And we are released from all of that. So we decided to update Pursue. And so, long story short, Pursue is going to look different, actually starting on August 5th. So the passion I have is to make this available, not once a quarter. And that's been another issue or a conviction I've had, is that Pursue nights, or previously Soak nights, are so good, and they've been lasting. They push into 2 hours sometimes. And it's probably just because we're so excited to be in His presence, and He does all these things, and we're experiencing this, that we have to wait once a quarter to be part of an experience. And I had a conviction about that. I wanted to see what it was like to be part of the New Testament church, who got together a lot. They worshiped together a lot. They prayed together a lot. They just did life together a whole lot. So Pursues are going to look different. They're also going to be more often. So starting in August, Pursues will be every month. So the first Sunday of every month, starting in August 5th, we will have Pursue nights. These scaled back, very simplistic worship nights. They will be 1 hour long. So what we noticed on a weekly basis during break for worship is that it's from noon to 1. But there is a powerful presence of God that happens during that hour. And He moves so swiftly and so intentionally that we're just so filled up after just that hour. And because we meet every week, there's not this desperation to want to stay and have to make it this long thing. Don't get me wrong, be in God's presence, and you can do it at home as much as you want or wherever you are. But corporately, we really see that God is moving just within an hour span when we come and we just from the very get-go just say, you do your thing, Holy Spirit. We're here just because we want to sit at the feet of Jesus. So Pursues will now be 1 hour from 6 to 7 p.m. the first Sunday night of every month. We also will continue to provide childcare, also dinner for the kiddos. So 0 to 5th grade, we'll have childcare and dinner. So our goal is to make it easier for the parents to be able to come, get the kids in there. They can get dinner. It's all taken care of. So we can just be in God's presence together. I do ask this out of our team, and this goes from AV to band to prayer team. I'm asking something of you. Because Pursue is going to mimic a break for worship, which looks like this, literally one person and a piano. What we found is that when you get rid of anything that's distracting or too much for us to focus on, God has that much more space. Now listen, I love instruments. I love orchestration. I love tracks. I love the pomp and circumstance of worship. This is a different setting. So this is going to be scaled down simplicity in His presence. So that means no AV team needed, no band needed, none of it. It literally is no slides, just a person on a piano finding the Lord. So this really opens this space up for a whole team to be a part. I'm asking you to be a part. I'm asking you to come and sense His presence and experience this. What I'm seeing is that if we're going to go forward in this shift for our church body, that God's trying to get our attention and show us the depth of what can happen in worship and prayer and fasting and the power that He has. We'll need to experience this as a team. We'll have to come together and have an understanding of how powerful these moments are so we can lead others. I'm not one to mandate things. I'm not one to make anything mandatory to be part of a department. But I do ask, I humbly ask for you to come to these Pursue nights. Just to experience what God is doing, to show us some new things about ourselves, and then also just to prepare us. It's a growing season for us because there are things coming that I believe that the Lord is rolling into our spirit man, into our church as a body. that we'll need to know about and be prepared for. And it's also just so cool to come and worship together in those environments. So that's the Pursue aspect of it. Again, starts August 5th, 6 to 7 p.m. It's 1 hour. Please come. There won't be any slides. Again, the goal is for you to not see or pay attention to anything but Jesus. We generally end up doing songs that are just the chorus and bridge that people know. We end up in a lot of hymns that a lot of people know. The goal is for you to find the Lord and not be worried about what word comes next, for it to just breathe out of your spirit man easily. That's Pursue. The second thing I do want to share is that now backstage for our band and vocalists, and actually AV as well, if anyone wants to use it, we have a section. I don't want to call it a green room, but it's backstage now, where there's just some chairs, some place for us to pray, for us to just get alone for a minute if you're back there by yourself. But this is a space that you are more than welcome to utilize, just to pray, to gather, etc. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So again, that's available for you, at least for the band and vocalists starting this Sunday and the following Sundays. I've had a conviction in my heart again as well for pause moments. So as the Lord keeps moving and keeps changing us and digging deeper in us, just like the Psalms, I'm feeling this overwhelming need to stop and pause and ponder what he did, specifically right after worship. So a lot of times band, vocalists, people in the room after worship, you sense that it's like such a drastic change from worship going into the next segment of our service. There's a great chance for us at least to jump back in that area for just one moment after praise and worship, to have a Selah moment. So we're just thinking, God, what did you just do? How do I go forward with this? What do you want me to apply to my life? And how can I push what happened out into my community and out into my family? What do you want more out of this? And just think of his goodness. So Selah moments backstage for at least band and vocalist right after praise and worship. Generally, it's happening during the welcome, the greeting time. Again, don't take all 4 minutes unless you really feel like the Lord is just moving and moving in your heart. Take a minute, pray, thank God for what he did. And we'll build more of those Selah moments into our culture as the weeks progress, but that's that. So love you guys. Thank you so much for your 12, almost 13 minutes that I just took up of your day. I'm so thankful for you. I'm so thankful for what the Lord is doing. I appreciate your diligence in coming and just serving the Lord with all your heart. And it's making huge impact on our church. And as we move into these new areas that the Lord is so lovingly showing us, I'm excited to do this together with you. Be blessed, guys.